Yetta, do you know the definition of a slumlord?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's someone that's a landlord that prioritizes making money over the comfort of their tenants.
I would agree with that.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
So we're excited that we have been able to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Decker.
I'm Ken Decker.
And
Sean and Roz
from Woodland Realty Investments are with us again.
Hello again.
Hello again.
So good. And we're going to consider that you can actually do good and build wealth at the same time through investing in real estate. Mm-hmm. And the reason we're choosing this topic, I'm a spoiler alert, so say spoiler alert, is because Roz and Sean have created a company really over the last 6 years. Like, even the thought of investing in real estate was not on Roz's radar screen 7 years ago. Like, no, thank you. And they've actually created a company called Woodland Realty Investments, where the purpose of it is to do good while they build wealth for themselves and for others. So we're going to look at, how do you go about doing both at the same time?
So that's my question. Roz and Sean, give us a few ideas of how you do good while building wealth.
So Ken and Yetta, we do good and build wealth by helping tenants. One of our measures of success is making tenants homeowners, helping guide them through the process. If they have bad credit, we help guide them to repair their credit and then get them in a position and a plan so that they can save for a down payment on a house and then eventually move into their own house.
Why in the world would you do that? Because you would have a good tenant that now you got to replace that tenant, right? If they go and buy a house?
We do, but we want people to live great lives because we're not about just making money solely. We want to help improve communities, improve people's lives, and just let them live and let our experience help guide them.
Right. So you talk to them about credit scores and different things. How do you go about that? Because I'm sure not everybody's open to that.
So that's a pretty sensitive topic. Like, really, you guys want to wander down that path with potentially strangers?
Well, surprisingly, people are very open because some people just don't have the education or knowledge on how to get there. So you bring it up and explain why you're asking these questions, and they're like, "Wow, I never even thought of buying a house." So that happens more
I never
often than you
even
think.
thought about buying a home.
Yeah. So they don't have the education. They don't know how much money they need. They don't know the process. There's a lot of people out there, and it's sad because we should all know how to do this. We should all know how to improve our lives.
Yeah, and we've talked about in other segments that when you're paying rent, in essence, you are paying a mortgage. It's just somebody else's mortgage. Even if they don't have a mortgage, the reality is that payment is equivalent to a mortgage is what we're really saying, or so close. Sometimes it's even more renting.
Yeah, it can be, and it can be significantly cheaper renting if they've been in a property for 10, 15 years and the landlord wasn't increasing the rent. Now, the issue with those tenants is not that they're not getting a great deal, because they are, but the problem is eventually that landlord will get tired of it and will want to sell that property because it's not making any money. And then normally it's a new person occupying it, who then the tenant has to go, and now they got to pay market rent. Wouldn't it be great when you're paying low rent to accumulate that down payment, like you're teaching them, right? So that if that ever came up, they go, okay, fine, you're kicking me out. I'm going to go buy something.
Absolutely.
Position yourself for the future.
Position yourself.
So how do you do that, Roz? How do you help them? I mean, Sean's saying we help them develop a better credit score. We teach them the principles. Do you have a step-by-step process, or is it just as the wind blows?
Well, we invite them to take the same journey that we went on, right? I haven't mentioned it yet, although we, like many landlords, run a credit check on all of our potential tenants. So we have their credit history and the things that they owe, and we're able to say, it would be a good idea if you do this or this or this. And we sit down with them at coffee and go through it with them. And I share with them at that time that I have declared bankruptcy twice, so that I can relate to them. We're not just these landlords, these mysterious wealthy landlords. I've been where you are, and I am evidence proof that this is possible, and this is the journey that we took to get us where we are. And this is the information that was freely shared with us, that we are freely sharing with you if you want it.
If you want it. Say something about the if you want it.
Well, the if you want it. So the first step is that we send them a link to the same financial fitness seminar that we took. It's online now, post-COVID or through COVID and post-COVID. So it's 2 hours of their time. We can check, with the facilitator to find out if they attended or not. But unless we're able to have that conversation with them later to say, what did you learn? Are you applying the principles of this? And then we would send them a link to the wealth formula. I'm not sure if you've heard of that book.
I kind of have.
And if you're a listener on Life's Inside Track, you've probably heard about the book almost as much as we have. But just in case you haven't, it's a book that was written in 2012 by Ken and actually yours truly, because you know that you don't do anything in isolation, even if only your name's on the book cover. And so it's the wealth formula. It takes a couple on a journey. From debt,
on a journey. Yeah.
Very much like Roz and Sean's journey.
Very much like
You'd
that.
think we knew you when we wrote the book, but we didn't.
No, that gift was saved for a couple of years.
So you give them, you don't give them a copy of the book very often anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah. Because we so often want for other people to take the journey that we are on, because we've learned so much and we've grown so much when we want that for others, but we can't want it more than they do. They have to want it. And in one case, we gave the tenant the book. They gave it back to us, I don't know, maybe close to a year later, and said, oh, it was really good. And then when I looked at it, like it's a paperback, so the spine hadn't even been cracked at all. Right. So what did you like about it?
That it was a great bookmark for something else.
Right.
I could use it as a coaster.
Yes. So since then, we now send them the link, because if they want it, they're going to invest the $25 to order it off of Amazon and have it there the next day.
And if they want, they can even get them right from the author, and he'll sign it if they pop into the Corvus office.
We can hook you up.
He can hook you up. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm thinking right now, Sean, about one of your favorite birthday gifts that you ever got. And I want to know why it was such a big deal.
I'm very passionate about helping people. And Ken gave me and Yetta for my birthday a bag full of Ken's books, The Wealth Formula. And I got so excited because I got to share these books with people. I get to help more people. And that was so exciting. I was so happy. I was happy.
He actually, you put a post out there saying you're with your wealth dealer.
Yes. My wealth dealer.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Yetta said, oh, we got the gift for Sean. And I'm going, well, what's the gift? What's the birthday gift? And she goes, oh, we're giving him a bunch of your books. And I'm going, what? They already had my books. They bought my books.
Bought lots of them.
Yep.
They've written in them. They've, highlighted them, tabbed them. What in the world does he need a bunch more books for? So I was delighted when you were so happy to receive that.
Ecstatic. I loved it.
And so you've heard sort of a conflicting concept that we don't give them away, but we do give them away. It's the isolated situation where it's the right time to give it to somebody that's willing to buy it, that wants to buy it. Then it might be a great time to gift it to them.
Right. Mm-hmm. So have you ever considered doing good as you invest? Or maybe that's a new concept and now you're just thinking about it. That's great. So take a moment to think about that. And we are delighted that we are positioning you to build wealth wisely, as it's about much more than money.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward